Hello, my darlings. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Let's talk about this super new moon in Libra happening on October 16th. There's a lot going on. So let's get started. Okay, I actually made a slideshow. I had to ask my 14-year-old how to do it. So we'll see how this goes. And if you like this format, let me know and I can try and do this more often. So we have a super new moon on October 16th at 23 degrees of Libra. And I'm calling this the hero's journey of self-fulfillment. And you'll see why as we go through this. There's a very potent energy about everything that's happening right now. And I'm sure you already know that. I don't think you would be here watching this if you didn't already know that what's happening right now, both within us as individuals and in the world outside of us, is incredibly important. Charlie, no barking. Charlie is trying to manage the squirrels outside the window. Okay, so you may have heard at the beginning of the year people talking about 2020 being the year of the Emperor. And in my system, 2020 is actually the year of the Fool, but the Emperor is a secondary supporting energy. So what does this mean for 2020? And you know, we've only got a few months left, so we can sort of look back and see how this has played out for us so far. So this indicates a new journey. The Fool is the first card of the major arcana, and he represents the hero. He represents us. He represents purity. He also represents Uranus, and Uranus is unpredictable. He's called the Great Awakener. And you know, new cycles can be unpredictable. Charles, hush. New cycles are unpredictable. They can be scary because we don't know what to expect. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. But the important thing is that we have purity of heart, and we'll get into that later on. So the combination of the Fool and the Emperor is like unexpected changes in our systems, which we've seen, a new cycle in authority, in leadership, in how the concrete real aspects of our world works. And you know, that's definitely been the case. So this, I mean, I have to say that I don't feel that we are at the climax yet. There's definitely more to come, more shakeup, more to know in this new cycle, and in how our societal systems will be shaped in the way forward. Okay, so just like every year has a card of the major arcana that helps us see the energy of that time period, every day of the year also has a card of the major arcana that helps us interpret the energy of that day. The Empress is the card of October 16th, 2020. And she is the divine feminine. She's the universal womb that gestates all of manifestation. She represents that transitional state of energy between above and below. between the void, non-physical, and the physical. She's the doorway. She's the one who holds all the ideas, all the desires, everything that is to be. She is the space where that incubates. Now, even though she represents a non-physical space of gestation, she is the Earth Mother. She is connected to realness, to Earth, to Mother Earth and nature. She is Venus, so she is the emerald green ray of the heart. She represents manifesting through pure emotion. And I don't mean emotion as in types of emotion like love and hate, or, you know, lack or abundance, like those types of things. I'm talking about pure emotion, the root of what emotion is, that base energy of pure emotion, just as a thing. So this is interesting because we do have the Emperor supporting us or adding to the energy this year. And the Emperor and the Empress are divine partners. He is the one that helps the manifestation become real. He's the one that does the work, that makes it concrete and directs action. Because action is actually really important. We can't all just sit around and dream, you know, our manifestations into reality. Action is the way we express to the divine what we want. It's how we add to it. It's how we cast our vote. And more on that later. Okay. Oops. Okay. So this is a Libra lunar cycle. And the card for Libra is Justice. And, you know, this is course correcting, karma, reaping what you sow, developing right action, or correcting your action so that it is right action. A really interesting exercise when it comes to this major arcana card and just the energy of justice and karma and Libra. What if you got what you deserve? How does that feel? If someone said to you, I hope you get what you deserve. How does that feel? Do you feel good about what you deserve? Do you feel a little nervous about that? Do you feel legit scared about that? So however that feels to you is a clue about what type of course correcting you need to do, or what kind of course correction is coming for you. And I don't mean that in a scary way. I mean, it's just, there are times in our lives where we have to reckon with the choices that we have made. And, you know, sometimes we just need to allow that. And other times, if we can see the road ahead and we can course correct before that big, you know, hairpin curve comes, then we're serving ourselves in a very important and wise way. Course correction is wise. So this also brings in the principles of Ma'at, who was the ancient Egyptian goddess who weighed the souls of the dead in her scale against a feather. And in that question of how does it feel when you think about getting what you deserve, how heavy is your heart around that? Because these are all clues about where we need to grow, because this path forward is pretty serious. And I do mean serious. It's serious. Like, this is real life. It's time to decide if you're here to be just kind of, basic and going through the motions, or are you here to leave this place better than you found it? Are you here to give more than you take? Are you here to help? Are you here to just kind of float? There's no judgment, but you know deep down what it is. You know if you have a mission. You know if there's something you're supposed to be doing, even if it's just blessing everyone you see. Every time you double tap on Instagram, you're sending that person consciously, you're making the choice to send that person love. There are a million different ways to give more than we take. And where are you in that? Do you know? Is your heart light as a feather? This has to do with integrity. The principles of Ma'at are the principles of balance and order, love, morality, justice. And, in her precepts, it isn't just about not murdering and not lying and not stealing. There are things in there about how we treat ourselves, and things about, like, not feeling sadness without a reason, like controlling, having mastery over ourselves, not feeling anger without a reason. It's not about not feeling anger or not feeling sorrow. It's about knowing if we really have a reason to or not. If we have a reason to and we deny ourselves those emotions, that is an imbalance in the scale. You know what I'm saying? Another interesting thing here is that, justice is the card of Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. The Empress is the card that represents Venus. So the Justice card and Ma'at both also carry the energy of the emerald green heart ray. So we are talking about so much love here. There's so much love available, so much love to direct us. This is love as a principle that guides our right action. The Empress is pure love as creation, as emotion, and justice is pure love as in intellectual correctness and knowing what the choice, what the path of love looks like. It's in our bodies, it would actually represent the high heart, which is a balance of emotion and mind. It's this balance, again, not just love, but a balanced type of love. Balanced in what we give ourselves and what we give others. That's so important. Are you giving yourself enough? Cosmic balance is achieved by public and private right action of an integrous nature. Do you know, if you've been following me for a while, or you know me personally, or you know my work, I talk about integrity and integrous action all the time, because for me personally, it's like the most important thing, because I want to be able to sleep at night. I want to feel sure that I'm doing my best to do the right thing always. And it doesn't mean I do the right thing always, None of us do. But to continue to course correct. Course correction is a constant process. It's not about perfection. It's about our intention of acting through balanced love and an integrous nature. So here is the chart for this new moon. So here we have this new moon in Libra. Now, this no doubt has to do with other people. Okay, Libra is the beginning of the zodiac where it begins to be about other people. It's not just about ourselves. And I want you to notice here this opposition to Mars retrograde. Okay. This is an interesting energy because when Mars and the moon are in a hard aspect with each other, it can be very painful. It can hurt. So, you know, new moons are new cycles, new beginnings. We are in these cycles within cycles within cycles, and just know that if something exits your realm, if something ends, it might hurt. But all of this is sending harmonious energy to the North Node, which is our collective destiny and where we're meant to go. So even if it hurts, just somewhere deep down, know that it's right, that it's for you, it's for us. And take care of yourself in that pain if that is what's happening for you in your life during this cycle. Speaking of the North Node at 21 degrees of Gemini is like coming up on the fixed star Nihal. This is going to begin a lengthy activation for all you indigos and Blu-ray souls out there and the Nihal starseeds. So this is about mission go, okay? Whatever happens in, in the world, which shit's crazy in the world, whatever happens in the outer world, whatever happens within your world, this is a setup for your go time. Indigo, Blu-ray, mission, go. It's okay if you don't know exactly what that is. We'll talk a little bit more in a moment about action and how you can sort of work with that. So we have our dream, we're committed to integrous right action, and that now supports our true north, the North Node, Indigo, Blu-ray, mission, go. So stay the course and believe in yourself. So I want to give an example of how this energy can work, even if you don't know what your mission is, okay? So let's use the example of voting, because we're all voting now, right? I hope you're voting. It's actually very, very important that you vote. And it's not for the reasons you think. Consider, what if it didn't matter at all who you voted for? Now, I'm probably going to get some blowback on this, but just stay with me. Just open your mind for a moment. Let's get a little weird, okay? What if it didn't matter who you voted for? It only mattered that you voted and why you voted for who you voted for. Well, how does that make any sense? Well, when we cast our vote, we are taking an action. We are literally casting our vote for the reality that we want, for the world that we want to live in. considering we only have two choices, right? Out of these two choices, you know, there are more things about this choice that support my vision for the world than this choice. I know it's tricky, but what if it didn't matter who won the election, that we all still made our vote? And I promise you that we all want more of the same things than we realize. It's really hard to see politically right now, but if we could sit down with each other and talk about it, I think that we would all see that there's a lot more common ground. And so these votes that we are actually making, actual votes, we're saying, I want this in my world, right? And then it doesn't even matter if your vote is actually counted, because etherically, in the womb of creation, in that Empress energy, in that void where it's being gestated, our votes are always counted. Our vote is still counted because we took the action. We made the choice. We took a right action to move us towards our vision. Does that make sense? So how do we use this in our life? If we don't know what our personal mission or destiny is, well, you just have to start taking some action. Even if you don't know, like, if it's the right action. Like, here's another example. And honestly, I hope many of you watching are my clients, because we've probably talked about this. I talk about keeping a dream journal all the time. And people always say, oh, but I don't remember my dreams. How can I keep a dream journal if I don't remember my dreams? Well, the key is, even if you're not remembering your dreams, get a notebook and declare that it is your dream journal. Mine is gold glitter, because I like glitter and I like gold. I have beautiful pens. I have right by my bed, I have my gold glitter dream journal, and I have a little thing of all my favorite pens. I like glitter pens and metallic pens in different colors, and I make it really nice for myself, so that when I get up in the morning, I just grab my notebook and I pull out one of my awesome pens and I start writing. So just through the act of taking the action of having a journal and having pens right there to write with, will begin that experience of starting to remember your dreams. And then you'll find, oh, I remembered something last night, but I didn't remember much. Write down even the smallest thing, because when you do that, say, like recently I had a dream, it was just this really long hug with someone I haven't seen in many, many years. And I didn't remember anything else. And so I sat down and I just wrote, Len and I saw each other from a distance away, ran towards each other, and had the longest, deepest hug. And then all of a sudden I remembered more, and I started remembering more. And then all of a sudden I started remembering dreams I had had nights before that I hadn't written down. And so it's a domino effect that begins by taking an action. Action is the language where we tell the universe what we want to be doing and where we want to go. Okay. So there's another, well, I'm going to skip that. I was going to, well, no, I will go into it. Okay. So about your mission. Sometimes we get caught up in other people's stories about us. We definitely get caught up in our stories that we tell ourselves, but a lot of times our stories are reflections of other people's stories about us. So an interesting example is to, again, take out a piece of paper. I'm big on writing things down with pen and paper, and begin making a list of all the shit people say about you, the things that you've heard your whole life, okay? Things like, well, I'll use myself, for example. I've always heard things like, oh, you're on your high horse, aren't you? oh, you're extra. She's extra. She's too much. She's too much. She's too loud. Her laugh is too loud. She insults my intelligence. She just thinks she knows everything. Okay, so those are some of the things that people say about me and always have. And the key to that is, the fun part is that there's actual truth to all of that. Not the negative stuff, but it's other people seeing me, being triggered by me, which actually has nothing to do with me, but they're seeing me. It's not people don't have to like you in order to see you. You know what I mean? Their trigger is theirs, but they actually know. And all of those things that I just said to you, I learned to accept by my mystical practice of astrology and tarot, which is what I'm doing here with you. And contact me if you would like to do some of this work together, because it's incredibly powerful. Self-acceptance is the biggest gift we can give ourselves in doing this work. Anyway, so let's explore that together if you like. Yeah, okay. So this is a Libra cycle, Libra lunar cycle. But in more details, in a more detailed way, this lunation is in the third decan of Libra. And this decan is ruled by the Four of Swords. So with this, with the Four of Swords, we're actually beginning the journey of self-fulfillment, which is the journey of the Knight of Cups. Okay? So we're going to be going through this journey in the next little while. But the biggest part of it, the bigger energy, is this restful integration, okay? Being the third decan of Libra, Libra is, a cardinal air sign. But the third decan is the mutable decan of that. So this is an interesting sort of blending of energies for the Four of Swords, because this is rest. This is about rest, meditation, integration, dreaming, putting our dreams into that womb. What is happening? There we go. That womb space where it can gestate. We can't do that without rest and integration. Integration just means that we take all of the things, for instance, if you do that exercise about what the shit people say about you, you take all of that and you bring it inside and you allow it to become a part of you. This is how we do shadow work. This is how we heal ourselves. It's all about integration. Welcoming our wounded self back home. Welcoming our inner child back home. Yes. So the Knight of Cups is he's our alchemical guide for this period of time. Now, he's an interesting character because all knights are fire, but he's the Knight of Cups. So with fire and water, there's a conflict here. He's trying to reconcile something. And he's doing it a lot in his head. He has the wings of imagination, the wings of intuition. And those are the wings of Hermes. So he is about messages, going into that restful meditative state to receive messages from your higher self and your spirit council. He also represents the longing for love or for a partner if you are without one. And this could indicate, you know, some divine couples finding each other or returning to each other. Or just finding love within, or healing a relationship with a friend or a parent or a child. So in this restful state, that rest can't last forever, right? So, as we go through this journey of the Knight of Cups, after the rest comes the Five of Cups, which is a card of sadness, and as I was saying before, when we were looking at the chart, there may be things that we have to let go, or things that leave our sphere. And you cannot promise me you will not bypass the experience of the loss. You have to feel it. You have to feel it. Through feeling it and integrating that pain, we then become more wise. And we then move into the Six of Cups, which is the return of innocence, pure love, sweet, sweet love, purity, the safety, our inner child being safe. And some things, in addition to this opposition to Mars retrograde, this lunar cycle, this new moon, is also squaring all this mess here with Pluto and Saturn. This is the asteroid Bondantia, which I didn't mean to have in there, but it's interesting that she is in there, because it sort of shows, ooh, my ear's ringing. Message received. You know how that is. Do you guys get those pitches in your ears? So this is about, what are we just refusing to let go of? Here's the thing, guys. Like, we are going whether we want to or not. We are transforming. We have to. We are letting go. We have to. We're going, whether we walk or we are drugged by the hair of the head. It's better to walk if you can. Either way, we're going. So kind of, you don't have to worry too much about it. We're going. You know what I mean? In a mystical practice, we try to stay aware of these things so we don't have to have as much of an acute experience of loss. Does not mean it's easy. This path is not easy. It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's worth casting your vote. It's worth being present enough and aware enough to know where you want to cast your vote. And I'm not talking about politics here. I'm not talking about the election right now. I'm talking about the world you want, your world. What do you want to be doing? How do you want to serve? What stories can you not let go of? That theme has been playing for a while about our victim story. I'm no stranger to the victim story, let me tell you. And there are things that are so deep and painful that we don't know how to let go. We don't know how to heal, and that's okay. You don't have to know how to heal. You just have to stay present, because when you do that, you will find somewhere, somehow, the love will find its way back to you, and you will be able to lean into compassion and lean into healing. Yeah, so there's no going back. Your new world is waiting. There's no going back. This is the fool's journey. We can't take a lot with us. What are you going to take with you? What's in your little pack here? Oh, no. What's in your little pack? Do you believe that as you step off this cliff into the unknown, that the supports will be there under your feet? Do you believe that? Do you? Do you believe you deserve that? Going back to us getting what we deserve. Who is your authority? Are you your authority? Are you your inner authority? Or are you letting these tapes, your victim story, the shit people say about you, are you letting that be your authority? It's deep right now. It's really, really deep. So I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up because I feel like things could get really intense for us individually and collectively. The blue full blue moon on the 31st on Halloween is really, really powerful. It is conjunct Uranus. Again, that's the full. And that's the only aspect it's making. So that means it's like a lot of that energy. Something very shocking, very big could happen to some of us, to all of us. I don't know. So if there ever was a time to develop your mystical practice or to begin any of these exercises that I've mentioned here, time is now. It will serve you. So one of the things I've been really wanting is to do my best to inject more love into the collective. And so right now, I just want you to close your eyes with me and let's just do a little grounding exercise and connect with that Empress energy. Okay, so I've got one hand on my heart and I've got one hand on my solar plexus. And I'm just going to close my eyes and take some deep breaths. Okay. Take these deep breaths with me. So do what you do to ground yourself. I like to drop a cord from my high heart down into the center of the earth. And then I like to allow golden cord from divine come from above, enter the crown of my head, and anchor into my high heart so that I am fully grounded and fully connected. And when I do this, this activates my Merkaba. So allow it to activate your Merkaba if that is what you envision. Could be an egg, a sphere of light, or you could just float in space. Whatever it is, you are fully safe, completely supported. Now, as you use your divine eye to look into the void, feel the deep reverence for the divine Holy Mother. And bow to her with your heart. And say, thank you, Divine Mother. Thank you, Sacred Feminine. Thank you, Holy Womb. Now, plot twist, turn to yourself and say the same thing. Thank you, Divine Mother. Thank you, Holy Womb. Thank you, Divine Feminine. Know that you are worthy of all good things. You are worthy of all your dreams coming true. You are deserving of joy, health, love, happiness. Accentuated by the honking horn in my distance. Can you hear that? All right, come back to your body. Withdraw your cords. You are fully restored. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope this is helpful. Drop me a comment down below if you like this format, if you have any realizations that came to you through listening to this. And you're welcome to go to my website, galacticmystic.com, and contact me for a reading if you like. We can do some of this work together. You're not alone, okay?